And so then I see people tearing down traditional structures, let's say, or they're casual about them. Another rule in this new book is do not casually denigrate social institutions or creative achievement. Well, why social institutions? Well, I've counseled lots of people who were lost. And so if you came to see me and I was your therapist, I'm very practical. I'd say to you, okay, well, let's look at your life for a minute. Do you have an intimate relationship? What about your family? And that could be, married with kids, or it could be the family of your birth, your siblings and your parents and so on. How's that functioning? Do you have anyone there? Do you have a job, or maybe a career, even if you're fortunate, but at least a job that keeps body and soul together, and maybe where there's some chance of advancement and hope? Do you know how to use your time outside of work productively? Do you take care of your mental and physical health? Do you manage the temptations, drug and alcohol use, and that sort of thing? Do you manage those temptations effectively? Are you educated are you as educated as you are intelligent? Have you, and those are standard patterns of activity in the world. Do you have kids? Do you have a wife? Or a husband? Do you have a job? I mean, it's mundane in some sense, and you can look beyond all those standard answers for meaning. But if you're overwhelmed by life, anxious and suffering, that's a good place to start. Put that together. Why? Well, the answer to that is because that's what people do. That's what people do. That's the best we've been able to manage. And if you don't have that, because you're a human being like other human beings, you're going to suffer for it. And so attacks on that, assaults on that aren't that helpful. Unless you have a better, like I have this friend, he's an atheist, and he's wavering about this. He was born a communist. He was raised in Poland. And he had objected at one point to the Christmas traditions of his family, who were also atheistic. And, he objected on the grounds of logical coherence. Why are we doing this? Well, don't do it. Well, then what happens? Well, then you have another weekday. You lose Christmas. Well, great. It's like now you're logically coherent. Wonderful. But you've lost Christmas. You don't want to throw these things away. When I see this sometimes with young people when they're talking about getting married. We don't need to get married. We don't need a piece of paper. It's like, really? That's the depth of thought you've put into this? It's like you're not going to mark this permanence with conscious awareness and social celebration and the sanction of your community and a beautiful ceremony. That's just nothing. You're going to let that go? Well, what are you going to replace it with? Nothing. You can say it's I don't want to be married in a church. I don't believe in God. Fair enough, but good luck filling in the hole.
So what is the template for constructive criticism of a social institution? In other words, if there is a wrong way to do it, where you're creating a void and not offering a better solution, what is the better approach, or what might be?
I got well known, I suppose, in part because of my injunction to people that they clean up their room. My closet, by the way, is a mess. I haven't been able to clean it up for like 3 years. So there's this English common law principle with regards to the distribution of power. I think it's English common law, that there are certain responsibilities of the family and the community and the town and the state and the federal government and the international organizations. But you want to have the most proximal level possible take responsibility for a given enterprise. And I think that's a good philosophy personally. You want to make changes, start with what's under your control. Start with changing those things that will hurt you if the changes go wrong. There's a good one. And it's better, I think, to put your life together than to go worry about parading around and being a social activist. I think most of that's fraudulent. And I think it's appalling that students learn, or people learn to do that mostly at universities. I think it's appalling. Fix up your own life. And that doesn't mean you shouldn't be involved in the community, but I believe that you have to earn that right. Not because there's something more wrong with you than wrong with anyone else. It's just that you don't want to, if you operate at a level that's beyond your competence, all you're going to do is make catastrophic mistakes. Practice locally till you're competent. And then if you dare, well, move out a little bit, as you mature and you gain some. When I used to work for the NDP, the socialists, back when I was 14 or 15, one of the things I came to realize, I think I realized this when I was 16 and went to university. It's like I woke up one day and I thought, I had this ideology in my mind, about how the world should be structured. And I woke up one day and I thought, what the hell do you know? You don't have a family. You don't have any experience. You don't have a job. Like, you're a pup. I mean, I was smart enough. I verbally could hold my own, and my head was full of ideas. I could defend them. But, at the same time that I was a socialist kid, I sat on the board of governors for the local college. And almost all the people on that board were local businessmen, most of them immigrants, because Northern Alberta was an immigrant. Like, it was only 50 years old. Everybody had moved there. It was a new place. It was the end of the frontier. Literally, we were at the end of the railway, the northernmost tip of the North American prairie. And there was all these conservatives sitting on this board and me. And what I found was I actually respected these people. Like, my ideology, my explicit ideology was antithetical to theirs. But when I interacted with them one-on-one, I thought, these people have made something of themselves. And when I talked to the activists, I never got that impression. I thought, you guys are resentful as hell. You don't know anything. You've never done anything, but you're noisy and self-righteous. And so that put a lot of cognitive dissonance. That filled me with cognitive dissonance.